I think somebody else. I'm like all in the middle of them.
Wow.
We're recording.
Yeah, we're recording.
I love it. I love it. I love it. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Didn't want to interrupt you guys, but I had to hit the record because we're at 6:30 on the button.
Yep.
So welcome.
Did I miss anybody else on here?
We've got Mary F, Sheena, Debbie, Colleen, Noah, Brianna, April. Did I miss anybody?
No.
I'm on my phone, so it's hard to see.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow,
Background though.
I thought you were on the computer.
I was driving in and I just pulled up at my house. I worked a little late today at the office, so I'm just pulling in. I didn't even have time to get down.
Are you in the car still?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God.
Feel free
My
to go
door's
inside.
locked, so
I
my
promise
kids
you it'll be
won't
here
come
when you're done.
disturb you.
That's hilarious. Oh gosh, you guys. Well, welcome everyone. There's Colleen. Welcome everyone to our MBC 157 filling and coding overview.
Oh, Mary Davis is here too now.
Mary, welcome.
I haven't seen her in a while.
And you know who else might show up is Diola. She said that she's going to try to make it in after she gets out of work.
Considering
Hey,
that,
Mary.
I did her wrong last night.
No,
We're just
getting
started.
in.
Yay, welcome.
Okay.
Is your plumbing issues getting any better, Mary?
Oh, I'm up and running.
Yay. So good.
Yeah,
Sonya
thanks.
Boatner says I'm here
What's that?
in the chat. Sonya Boatner.
Oh, Sonia's here.
Welcome. Thank you, April. See, these people are supposed to be telling me when people arrive.
I had to get up for a moment. I needed the books.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Well, April has graciously joined us this evening before we start because we need to make a big announcement, and it's not as bad as it might seem. April, do you want to go for it?
Yes. Well, first of all, I want to tell you guys, just in your program, your class actually, next month, we have 21 graduates between Miss P's two classes. 21 of you guys are going to be leaving us. And I'm trying not to get emotional about it.
It's a good
I'm
thing.
really trying, guys. Like I'm really trying not to get emotional about it, but 21 of you guys are leaving us next month. And that's a lot. You know, we've been through a lot together. Your time is coming up. A few people leave as soon as August 3rd. And just kind of throughout the month, people are leaving. So 21 of you. How many of you on this call next month is your expected grad date?
I know I'm the third.
Me.
I'm the 12th.
All of you then?
I'm the
They're all
19th.
going to spread their wings and fly to
I'm
greater
the 12th.
heights.
And
Oh, Sonia's
all
even
of
one
these
too.
people. Yeah. So it looks like it's
I
everybody.
told you, even when I leave, just include me in your Zoom and I'll still be there.
Well,
love
hey,
it. I
April,
love
that's
it.
a
I
great
love it.
idea. We can have her as a special.
As a guest.
Yes,
Yes.
we can
Seriously,
do that,
guys.
Colleen.
We will invite you back for guests because you guys have been wonderful. So with that being said, guys, Miss Colleen will be transitioning as an adjunct instructor. What does that mean? That means that she won't be your full-time instructor anymore. Effective actually, and we've been knowing this for a while, but we wanted to just wait to tell you guys this, right? Tomorrow will be her official last full-time day. So what does adjunct mean? Adjunct means that she's still gonna be part of the Unitech family, right? But she'll be here on a contract basis. What does that even mean? What does that look like for you? Will you still see her until you complete next month? And even beyond that? Yes, you will. Yes, you will. You just won't see her every day. In the meantime, You got me again. But again, you guys are all
That.
leaving us anyway, which I'm not too happy about, but that's okay. You guys are gonna fly. So it actually it's a good time right now because I know that you guys, you love her, we love her. I am very sad that she is no longer full time with us, but I am thrilled that she is remaining with us as adjunct. So again, you will be seeing her pop in and out. You will see that, okay? I will be again just maintaining your attendance, your grades, that kind of stuff, right? But you will be seeing her, just not on a full time basis.
And not to interrupt, I don't mean to interrupt, but I also want to share that you guys have my phone number, you have my email. Don't hesitate to reach out even after you've graduated, right? If you think that I can answer a question or concern, I promise you guys, I will always be here for you, whether I'm full-time, part-time, or no time, right?
I call you every other day to make sure you're okay.
I know, see? I love that.
Oh my God, that's too
She's
funny.
a
That's too funny.
great mentor. Look, I call her for personal reasons, like for my work. I called her for advice. She is amazing.
She
So don't
is.
think I'm not gonna delete your number because I may need some more advice,
Anytime,
Don't,
like I said,
because she's still an instructor. Please don't do that. She's still on payroll, if you will.
but I'm just
She is
saying,
still gonna be.
I'm
Yeah.
here for you no matter what. If I'm your instructor or not, I'm just always happy to help if I can.
Yes.
Oh.
And we're so lucky that it is happening. She may or may not share what's happening and what the transition is, but I am just thrilled that she is remaining with us,
Oh,
right?
I'll be happy
I know
to
you
share
guys.
why. Because it
Okay,
affects
you
them
guys
too.
have been through a lot.
What's
And
up?
it
Yeah,
affects
yeah.
you guys too. So the reason, you guys, like you, I was an online student for 6 years, right?
Mhm.
So you can imagine how costly that is. So because I'm the sole support here, I had to get my college degree in order to support because my husband became disabled. Well, then now I've got 6 years of degrees to pay back and just me, right, making the money. So I was working for a non-for-profit university because if you work for non-for-profit for 10 years and submit paperwork every year from that place of employment, Department of Ed will, after a 10-year period of non-for-profit service, write off your school loans, right? I mean, I still pay a portion, but not as much as I would as if I didn't have this. It's called public service loan forgiveness. So anyway, the school that I was with for 7.5 years, I want to say, went under unexpectedly, right? So then I have to find a new job that's non-for-profit in order to make up the remaining 3.5, 4 years, because again, I can't come up with hundreds of thousands of dollars and pay the bills and everything else. So an opportunity came up that for a non-for-profit that I've been with previously, with an option now to go full-time at some point down the road. Initially, you have to start adjunct, but down the road, there's opportunity to go full-time because with Department of Ed, you have to have 30 to 40 hours a week to be considered full-time non-for-profit in order to get your loans eliminated after 10 years of service. So that's what happened. Not because I want to leave you guys by any means, but at the same time, I'll be working past my grave to pay off these student debt loans if I didn't do this. If that makes sense.
Feel that.
And that's why I stress to you guys the importance of keeping your grades up and passing your courses, because otherwise you're paying for enough and you have to keep paying to repeat that course until you graduate, which adds to your debt. And I don't think any of you, just like me, aren't in school to increase your financial debt. You're here to try to improve it, right?
Yep.
So,
This was a way to put off debt, but it became something greater. So, I mean,
Yeah.
as far as the story goes, this was originally, I was doing this just to do it. I was getting the debt out of the way, stopping. So that's why, Miss April, when you were teaching us, you would notice that I'd go 2-3 days without doing anything, and then all of a sudden pop up on a weekend and start working. Um,
Mhm.
I then turned that around because I was like, school is probably one of the most important things in life to pushing this debt down. And then not only that, but living a better life.
Mhm.
I I finally realized, and it took way too long to realize. And once I did, I turned my life around and I turned it around for the better. So if anybody is going through what I went through, just trying to put it off, putting anything off, work hard. It helps. It really does. Now everybody at Unitech knows my name, and it's
Noah,
amazing to me.
I need you. I want to interview you as early as next week, probably mid next week, or later part of next week. And I need you to say that same thing. You know, as the director of education, I come across all 213 of you guys, right? Because as of today, our online census for Unitech Online is 213. And I have the pleasure to put my hands on everybody, right? And I come across so many people that they're thinking, oh, I want to sign up for school and then quit in a week, a day, 2 months. You have an obligation. Whenever you sign those papers, guys, no matter, I don't care what's good, McNeese, UL, Southern, wherever, Harvard, wherever. If it's in an accredited school, you got loans and grants. This is just as important as buying a house. And I've said that before to you guys. It's serious. And, a lot of our students sometimes just, they don't think it's a big deal until it's time to buy a house. Guess what? Good for
April,
that, right?
I will vouch on that. I actually started Unitech 2016, and within 2 weeks I dropped, which I had medical reasons too. I had to drop out, but I could have strived to complete. And it took me some time because I had some pregnancy issues. So like it was in and out the hospital constantly. But never give up. You can always go back. I mean, look, that was since 2016. I've been in school since 2014. And I can finally say this is going to be my second certification, but don't give up. Noah's right. Don't
Yes,
give up.
exactly.
And you're
Exactly.
never too old.
Never.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm
Look,
talking
just
about.
an insight. My mom is 48 years old and she graduated with nursing a year ago, got into a horrible accident in October, and she only was able to practice for 6 months. Now the doctors are talking about putting her on disability, and she is talking to the insurance company to pay for her schooling to be a PA. And she is going back to school at 48 to be a PA because she can't do bedside nursing. So y'all, you're never too old, no matter what circumstances, y'all. My mom's hand is completely damaged, nerve damage. She is going for a PA to do stuff that she can go around her obstacles with her hand. So you're never too
That's
old. No
beautiful.
obstacles can get in your way. You put your mind to it, you can do it.
I'll tell you what,
Absolutely. I
I've had
love the
students-
energy.
Yes, I've had students in their 70s. Some of them have shared that they did it to influence their grandchildren, put forth that good influence. Others are doing it because they want to learn a new occupation at 70 some years old. So you're right. You're never too old. And in your degree or your education is something that can never be taken away from you, ever. It's with you forever.
Wow. That's true. That's true. That is so phenomenal, guys. So we wanted to come on and definitely give you this news, and we hope that you're not too saddened. Again, Miss Colleen, Miss P, co-pilot, she will still be active, right? You just won't see her as much. And again, you guys are all leaving us next month.
Pretty much
You
all
know,
of us.
that's August 1st is not far from here, guys. Today is July 21st,
21st.
right?
I got 4
So see that? Yeah. Yeah. So again, don't be too saddened. I hope I'm not that bad.
We
But you
love
guys,
you. The
Miss
only
April,
sad
you're
thing is
we
we
great.
love
only have
you.
2 weeks left with y'all.
and let me tell you guys, I better see. We don't have a date yet, but I better see each and every one of you guys at graduation. Y'all, well, I don't have a date yet. It's going to be later on this year, right? Between October and December. That's when our fall graduation is. You guys better make plans to be in Lafayette, Louisiana. Okay, let me tell you, I have formed a bond with you guys closer than any other class, right? And although Miss P took over, I was still, y'all see my notes?
Of course we
I
do.
was still in there following up on you guys. I would watch the recordings. I'm still following up with you because I see the greatness. I see what you guys are doing. You guys show up, you want, and you've been through a lot. You've been through a couple of instructors. You've been through a lot, right? A lot of change, but you still persevered. And that's what life is about, period, right? You can't throw in the towel because of a change. It doesn't work like that, right? It just doesn't. You kept on going, you've accepted things, and you guys are made of rock. And let me tell you, graduations, all I keep on thinking about is seeing all of you there. And you guys get to meet each other as well. I'm excited about that. I'm really excited about that. And please keep in touch. As Ms. P said, no matter, once you guys graduate the program, please keep in touch. We want to know what you're doing. We want to help you. You're going to be hearing from us about your NCT certification. I talk about that a lot, right? But we hope that you guys are doing well, that you continue to do well, and that you stay in touch with us, and that you motivate other students that are coming through.
Of
Miss
course.
April, before we end or after, I will shoot you an email. I tried registering for the MOA in CCT,
You
and
can't.
it blocks it.
Correct. Miss Franny, who is the registrar, she has to do it.
Okay.
So whenever you're ready, just call the school or email F as in Franny Hoffman. That's HOFFMAN. And
Okay.
I can email you that tomorrow at unitechta.edu. Again, that's F Hoffman at unitechta.edu. Matter of fact, because you guys, so many of you are graduating next month as a whole, I'm going to go ahead. I love the Zooms at this time because you guys seem to be able to get on. Miss Franny probably won't be able to get on at this time, but if we can do like a 3 o'clock, maybe even, I want her to come on and explain the process, because you guys this is it. It's time. It's time. And I've always said, right, I highly recommend that you take the MOA test first. That's your green KINS book. Hey, Sonia. That's your KINS, KINN''S, right? Remember what I said earlier as in months ago, right? Download that detailed test plan. It's time to rock and roll. You can take the test now, actually. The MOA.
I plan on taking it like the 3rd week of August, if possible.
Hey, you can. And guess what? Remember this. You have 2 options on where to take the exam. You can take the exam remotely, meaning at your house, or you can go to a nearby Unitech campus. Some of you guys are near Homa. We have a Homa campus. We have an Alexandria campus. We have a Western Road campus. We have Lafayette. We have New Orleans. We have all these wonderful campuses that are out there. So, or you can take it from home. Long as your computer meets the specs, which is the same. If you're on here, then you make the specs, right? You're going to be fine. Tab that book. We talked about that before, but we'll get into that next week. It's the Steve show right now.
Colleen,
Yeah.
do you know where the Homa campus is now? They moved it.
Yeah, they moved.
It's next to the mall.
It's in the old Sears building.
Yeah, it's in the old Sears building. Yeah. Okay, just making sure you knew.
Miss
Yeah, they sent me
April,
an email for a job offering over there.
Of course they
Yes,
did.
ma'am.
you will be giving us our NCCT study stuff when it comes near our.
Yes, your last day, you're going to receive an actual email from Miss Franny that has that information on there. Yep. And that information is the Edmodo code to go ahead. And there's some really great videos. There's some practice tests on there that you need, guys. When I say stick with it, once you complete next month, don't just get out of your daily agenda or your daily school habit. Stick with it, because I'm telling you, the material that has been put on that Edmodo site, it will assist you in being successful in both of those exams.
So
And
we
let me tell
don't
you-
need to buy the NCCT one?
No, they're gonna give us they're gonna give us an Edmodo
I
code,
mean-
and then after that, they give us a test code.
Yeah, the stuff is already loaded on there. If you want in depth, it is not that. I think it's like $30 for one of the tests on NCCT. If you just want to have it in your hand, then definitely I suggest that.
I can't afford it, to be honest.
Well, guess what? Don't worry about it. You're gonna be fine.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. But stay on that routine, guys. Mary, I know you work a full-time job and you do your work in the evening time. Don't let that change anything. Sonia, it's all good. Don't worry about it. The Edmodo thing that I put together, along with Miss Marsha and Miss Crystal, another instructor, solid. And guess what? We are seeing a huge increase in pass rates. Huge increase.
So
So
if y'all would
that
like,
tells me it's working.
I purchased it. If y'all want to, we can try to make a Zoom meeting and do one of them together. That way nobody else has to purchase it. I can share my screen and we have it and we can do it together as an example. I mean, I already have it, so we just as well do it together as a team. And then we can pinpoint what we need to study and it'll help everybody. That way nobody else has to purchase it until until we get the email. But at least I have
Yeah.
it and I can share it with everybody if y'all would like that.
Colleen, if that meeting time worked for you, Wednesday at 7 is a great time. I just need to pay attention to my clock a little bit better, and then that would, it would work out.
So you guys can all do your labs together.
Yeah, we can all do our labs together. We can all work on NCCT, anything that we need to work on as late as anybody wants to stay up. I'm a night owl. I stay up all night.
We would have to do it a Friday because I have to wake up at 5 o'clock for work and drive 45 minutes away.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
You poor child.
Well, Miss P, those questions, those daily questions, that's from NCCT, huh?
Yeah.
Yes,
You've been giving us.
literally every answer has been in
Been
coder.
Only two. I think there was only two.
There was 3.
Okay.
Don't test me.
Yeah, but we'll know it.
He's making
That's a
sure we
good
know
thing.
encoder.
Just making sure we know that an encoder does this, and this.
Right.
And guys, so let me tell you another thing too. So the module that you're in now, SimChart, it ends August 1st. Okay. So get all that stuff done. August 2nd begins your 5-day professional development course. Now that's going to be in conjunction with myself and career services, right? You're going to do a mock interview. So I'm telling you ahead of time, the mock interview, you dress to impress on camera. So get your makeup on. Mary, you was looking like a diva the other night for NCHS.
She was. I didn't
Did you
even recognize her.
Let me tell you, I
Thank
was like,
you.
who is that?
I had to
Beautiful.
double look like that is not my classmate Mary.
Let me tell
Makeup
you.
doesn't fix this face. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Noah can't wear any makeup.
No, but let
I
me tell
have
you guys,
before.
It was wonderful.
I mean,
Miss April, since y'all doing that August 2nd for 5 days, my last day is August 3rd. Is there any way that I can join for the 5 days?
Well,
Or
what's
how
gonna
does that work?
happen- What's going to happen is that Miss Franny, our registrar, she gives us a weekly list. So what's going to happen? You definitely have to get into your Ferris wheel module. Okay. So what's going to happen, guys? Your schedules will be all wacky. And then after you finish SimChart, it's going to be wacky. I'm going to be emailing you. You'll be like, what? So remember, when you first began Unitech, right? You jumped on the Ferris wheel. You might have been in module 151, 153, 158, whatever. Okay. As you're ending, okay, you're going to jump back onto that Ferris wheel to complete either your hours and or assignments. Now, the good thing is this. Some of you don't have a whole lot to complete, meaning that let's say that you jumped in module 151, day 19, but it's a 20-day module. I'm going to pull your grades that you already have. Some of you would just need to make up the hours, right? And how do you do that? Your daily assignments. So that gives you your attendance. But I'm going to be very transparent transparent with you guys because we have a wonderful registrar who she's very analytical, very detailed, and she gives us the information that we need in order to process and to graduate you, to prepare you for that class. So you guys are gonna be all over the place. Some of you may be, if anybody's starting together like the same day or same week, then you're gonna follow each other. But most of you didn't. Most of you kind of here, there, here. But remember that you're going to jump back onto your Ferris wheel module to complete that. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So August is gonna be like really weird. It'll be very, very weird. But even so, Colleen, even though if that's not your module to complete in, it's okay. Because once we give the codes on to Miss Franny, the registrar, and she grads you out, you will still, what's going to happen, right? August 3rd, if that's your date, you're finished. You do not complete any more assignments. You're going to still have access, but you don't complete anything, okay? So then you're going to get a phone call, an email also from the career services team, okay? They're going to talk about resume. They're going to talk about a mock interview. They can redo that. So
I
even
got
if
mine
you've already
today.
completed, perfect, good.
I
Because you
already
know
sent it
why?
back.
And let me tell you why. They're starting to see that you guys are coming up. So that part is because they're starting to see that you guys are graduating soon. So they're getting ahead of the game a little bit. There's a portfolio, there's a packet, they're getting ahead of the game. That's all that is. So regardless if you're in this class right now, you've taken it. If you haven't taken it yet, then you will. But if you have and you pass that class, it's okay because you're going to be revisiting that department in the future. As Mary said, she got hers today. So don't even worry about it. You'll still be able to participate and they're going to help you. They're great. Respond to them, guys. They're probably asking for an old resume if you have. If not, it's okay. You don't need one. They will help you to create one, all right? And even if you're not comfortable in doing mock interviews, don't worry about it. Once again, they got you. And they're there to answer those tough interview questions. You know, why should we hire you? Ooh, that's kind of awkward. And let me tell you, as a manager, I have gotten some of the most awkward answers ever. You know, my favorite question is the tell me about yourself. And I get I used to, I would get I have 2 dogs, 3 baby daddies, and you know, I'm a single parent. My mom died when I was 3. I got a turtle named Harry.
Well, they're
No.
telling you their life story
Your
and everything.
professional self, people.
Let me tell you, I'm not joking. No, I like to kid around, but I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm so serious. And I'm like, and you want to come save lives at a hospital.
They'll talk them to death first.
What's that?
I said they'll talk them to death first.
Exactly, about all their problems.
Well, Miss Debbie, your day is August 24th too. Huh?
Right? Yes.
That's my last day
Wow.
too. So we're the same day.
Wait, August
So when
4th
we
or
need a
24th?
celebration.
24th.
We
Oh,
need a
crap. I finished
celebration.
before y'all.
So listen, speaking of that, there's like 3 students that finish August 3rd. And like I said, everybody kind of is all over in the month. So why don't we have an online party? Oh, Science 24 too.
Sonia 24th.
Why don't we
too.
have an online party for you guys before August 3rd? And Miss P, if you can join us, it'll be great. We'll have an online celebratory graduation party. Brianna's the 19th.
I'm the
That way we
12th.
can cover everybody in the month of August. What do y'all think
When?
about that?
Yeah, that sounds amazing to me.
I like
It would
that.
have to be either August 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, because we have 3 students whose last day is the 3rd. They have until, midnight to turn in their assignment, 11:55, to be scientific. So, Miss P, look at your schedule. Guys, you look at your schedules. And again, and guess what? That next
I'm
week
good
is
all 3
that
days. They
last
don't
full
show
week.
me anything.
What's that?
Hey, y'all, is it gonna be in the evening time?
Of course. That seems to work for you guys.
Yes.
Okay.
That seems to work for you guys. So you guys come up with a date. Do y'all have like a group me or a chat, a message with everybody?
Oh,
I don't
no.
have a group
No.
me. I know we have one for National Honor Society. So if you want, I can create a group me for like our class to come up with
I
something.
I think that would be great, Colleen. And here's why. You guys need to hang tight together because you're such a large class and so many of you are grading at the same time. And you're going to need each other for that push of that NCCT and moto practice. Because I don't want anybody falling to the wayside and sleeping late or going to sleep early or whatever the case is, going on vacation and just throwing out their cert out the window. Guys, Unitech is paying for this. Take your certifications. It's 2. Why not? And remember, it's 2 national certifications. So you can go to Dubai, live your best life. You can go to Hawaii. You can go anywhere you want to. It's national. So please, Colleen, definitely create that group meal, whatever, and get everybody in there because you guys are going to need the support. You know, oftentimes I've been doing this in 2010, and I see students that are gung-ho, like you guys are tight, right? But then once they graduate, they lose the rhythm of it, right? And you're not finished. You're not finished. You're not finished. You've got to take and pass those 2 exams.
Okay.
Miss April,
Yes, ma'am.
Go
um,
ahead.
they're gonna cover the medical office assistant and the medical billing and coding test for
Yes,
us.
ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. And again, you have the information. So start now, meaning that detailed test plan, download. You should have been downloading print that since I started in February. So that should be done already. If not, download and print that detailed test plan because that is your roadmap to what to study for. So you've got 90% of the information already. It's in your hand. That detail, go to the website. It's already on there. Download, you have access to that. That's what you need. The videos and the tests and all that, that comes from all of that stuff. So you already got that in your possession.
Okay.
It's called the detailed test plan. Mary, you had a question?
I do. I just wanted to let you know and tell you thank you. I got my resume too as well, and I've already applied for a job with the VA here in Lafayette.
Wonderful.
What?
That is
That's
awesome.
wonderful. Oh my gosh. That's congratulations.
Yes.
So y'all keep a prayer up for me. Send a prayer up that I get it. I really
Absolutely.
want that opportunity.
You better
Yes.
let me know, Mary.
That's wonderful. That is
I
wonderful.
was actually looking to start putting in applications today too. I saw one
Guys,
for
it's time.
I saw one for a local clinic that had an MOR position. So I was
Wow.
looking,
That's nice.
but the only thing is that one of them was requiring having the certifications. And then the other one that I clicked on was a orthodontics clinic. And I'm like, do I really want to see people?
It's only dental billing.
Yeah, I know it's only dental billing, but dental.
So the ones that Noah shows that you need a certification, if you fill it out and you put your graduation last day, they'll still look into it because you're graduating in like a month. So they'll still consider you. A lot of them will consider you and still hire and train.
She took the
Is that
words
what
out of my
happened with you?
mouth. Just because you see the word, you need to have experience, you need to be certified, apply. It doesn't matter, apply. And you let them know what's happening. Remember, I always said, do you have experience? What's the answer? Who remembers? Do you have experience?
I think it's yes, isn't it? Yes, we do.
Yes.
Schooling.
What is your experience? Let's see who remembers this.
Our schooling.
Yeah.
I know what it is.
Mary's, I see it. I see her brain.
Internship. Our internship is our experience, isn't it?
Well, let me tell you, you guys actually don't have an internship, but what you do have is the course you're doing now, which is SimChart. You know why? Because SimChart is a real EHR software system.
And
And
you're
let me tell you,
absolutely
it's a
correct.
whole lot more difficult than real world.
You're right, exactly.
And it's easy. It's easy. But when you go into the real world, like we have Athena, and let me tell you, Athena is so much easier to work than SimChart.
Yes, yes. And you know, guys, in school, they give you the hard stuff. That way you're prepared for anything.
But they told me in high school too, and then I never used it.
You will know, you will use it. Well, guys, I've blabbed on here enough. I know you guys have a wonderful lecture that Miss P has prepared for you. But again, we want to come on here and share with you the good news, right? It's good stuff for all of us.
Yes.
You guys are grading next month. Miss Colleen is still with us. Yay. And you guys will continue rocking and rolling. So we're excited.
Just like you guys, I'm here too because of Miss April. I love her just as much as you
Yeah.
guys do. We all say good
Me and
things
Miss
about
P have a bond, and let me tell you, I just love her, and I'm so happy that she accepted the adjunct position. That way, I can still call her my co-pilot and still email her and text her, and my life is still good.
So sweet.
She is. That's the thing. She really is. Thank you so much, April, for coming on and sharing and caring and for
All the
everything
time.
you do, for everything you do.
Yes,
Exactly.
ma'am.
All the time. I couldn't be me without you guys, and I mean that. I'm not just saying that. I mean, I'm very sincere. You know, I don't think that I could be in education for as long as I have, if I wouldn't. You know, I still, guys, even last weekend, I ran into two graduates that I had from another school I worked at. These girls, I can't remember their names. I have literally taught and graduated thousands of students. When I say thousands, thousands. And it's so funny because I saw two last week. I'm like, what's your name? But I remember who they are, you know. And it's a good feeling when you see someone out there shopping on a weekend or whatever, and they're like, Miss April, and Miss April, and, anywhere, Facebook. It's so funny. I've worked for about 3 colleges in my 13 years, and they still think I work for the first or second college. So they're calling around, where's Miss April? Sure, we're here, but what you mean? So that's fun. But that tells me that I must have made some kind of impression.
Yeah.
And even today, like I said, they find me and they call me for advice. They call me for jobs. They just call, and I love it. I love it.
Connections. It's all about our connections. That's why I keep telling you guys, exchange phone numbers, emails, stay connected. You never know, you know, what
Yep.
that connection might lead to down the road.
Exactly. Well, guys, if you need anything, y'all, some of you have my number. You can email me. I'm gonna be posting something on Monday, right? So I look forward to it. As I said, adios.
Thank you,
Bye.
Miss April.
Bye.
Miss April, thank you.
See y'all
Thank
next
you.
week.
All
See ya.
right.
Mary and Debbie, I wanted to share, Sonia posted in the chat that she's on the 24th too.
Oh,
You
okay.
have a little team there, the 3 of you, and Brianna's the 19th
Good night.
graduate.
I
I
feel like
think
I'm
I'm.
the only one on the third.
Is
Like,
anybody
call-
on the 31st? I think mine's the 31st of August. Anybody else? How is mine on the 31st?
I was about to say, there's no way for August to have a 31st, is there? Thought July was the 31st, and then August goes to the 30th.
You might be
Oh, we're the 30th, yeah.
I was thinking I was the 4th, but I'm the 24th.
Yeah,
You had the
You
full
were.
night.
So, Miss
Yeah.
Colleen, you think
The
I'm
full-
the only one on the 30th here in this class? Could be.
That's a Miss April question. I don't have access to any of that type of
Okay.
information,
She
unfortunately.
So
can
we
tell
have-
you,
y'all
Miss
just gotta
Mary.
send me
We
the
do have
link
a
so I can
31st
still
available.
join the Zoom.
What's that, Colleen?
I said after the 3rd, y'all still better send me them links so I can join the Zoom.
Can't get rid of us that easy. We're like bad grass. Can't get rid of bad grass.
We don't want to either.
Mm-mm.
We love you guys.
We've come a long way, y'all.
Yes, we have.
Yes, indeed,
Through
yes.
3 instructors to Miss P.
You should be very proud of yourself.
Oh God!
In
And then
healthcare-
blackout.
Yeah, the blackout. Hey,
The
but in
blackout was
healthcare,
interesting.
healthcare though, you guys, it changes daily. Something's going on daily that we have to be made aware of. So if you guys can get through all that you've gotten through and still be graduating, you're doing awesome. You will thrive in healthcare, right?
Y'all, she's not joking. I started my job 3 weeks ago and I've been trained on 5 different things that I've already learned 700 times. And
Hell yeah.
tomorrow we have a meeting on changing
It's
more.
wonderful.
Mary, I'm so happy for your possible in at the VA. And if you don't, you just keep pushing. Keep pushing.
Oh, yeah, I will.
Connections there. Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
because I've
you.
gotten turned down, so don't give up just there.
Oh, I won't. I'm not gonna give up. I work for the state now, so I might, if I don't get that one, I'll just probably try to find something in the state medically.
Do you
I
know
work for the
anybody,
state
Mary?
too.
I didn't
So
hear
I
you.
always
I
look,
work for the state too.
You work for the state as well?
She's
I'm a
bus
bus
driver.
aide though.
Okay, so you're not gonna try to apply for a medical position with the state?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't even know they had that.
This
Yes,
is why you
ma'am.
guys need
Go
to.
on the- Go on the state website. Yes, ma'am, they do. They have all kind of medical stuff for
Oh,
us.
okay.
So
Cool.
Mary, and Mary.
Mary, Mary.
Put your guys' phone numbers and emails in the chat. Take a picture so you can stay in touch and help one another out with jobs,
Okay.
connections.
I like how
Yeah.
Miss P just said that. Mary,
Just
Mary,
like whatever.
and Miss
Mary,
Mary.
Mary, Mary, Mary.
Mary, Mary, quite contrary. I heard that all my life.
Meet.
Start and grow.
And then when that song come out, Mary, Mary, why you bugging? I heard that too.
She's singing so good, you guys. We should just let Mary
Yeah.
sing and we'll just not have
Miss
Mary,
Colleen, I
the
want to
last
say
we
to you, Miss
have.
Colleen, I really appreciate all the help that you've given me, and I really feel like I have a special bond with you as well.
Sure, all of you
Yeah,
guys. I'm telling
definitely.
you've got my number. I promise I will call you. I will text you if you call me or text me. I'm not going to be like, oh, well,
That's Mary.
I don't work that way. I promise you.
Okay.
I'm not that kind of person.
I'm
We'll
not
just
gonna
all get
sing while
together
it's
and find you
recording.
in Florida.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be. All right, you guys, you think we should,
Graduating class field trip.
I know.
Yeah, that sounds.
Well, what do they do in school? What's the high school thing when they do? Is it spring break and everybody goes, come
Yeah.
on, instead of spring break, we're gonna do college visit Miss P break.
Right.
Yeah, we can meet in Fort Walton Beach at the
Yeah.
Panhandle at the top.
I've been there.
It's beautiful.
It's clean
Mhm.
over there.
Oh, beautiful. All right, you
Mhm.
guys, let's get to it. I was hoping that some of our newer students would join us so that my more seasoned students could share their knowledge in regards to coding and billing. I sort of wanted to do a final review with you guys to sort of solidify some of the things we learned in the past, because I know the last few lectures we've been just simply doing lab, and I thought maybe you might be tired of that and maybe we want a coding refresher. So like you guys were talking about, let's see, Brianna doesn't have her book because she's driving. That's okay, Brianna. We only have one coding scenario we're going to look at, and it's all the way at the end of this. I'm going to actually talk about some other things before we get to that coding scenario. So you're fine. And it'll be recorded. It is being recorded, so you can always go back and review later. All right, I'm going to see if I can progress this. So Miss April joined us a little bit earlier to share the breaking news. Otherwise, we were going to hold that for the end. So we'll just sort of X that off the agenda for now. We are reviewing chapter 4 from the SimChart book, which is all about coding and billing. So let's see, you guys, you have your thinking caps on. So coding, as we remember, is our universal language in healthcare. So in other words, those of us that work in healthcare speak code and know what it means, as opposed to those that do not work in healthcare. And that's why it's important too, we remember when we have patients to sort of talk to them in a language they understand, right? When they're asking questions. So who remembers what the coding manuals are that we use in the outpatient setting?
CPT and ICD-10
ICD-10, right?
CPT and HICPIC.
and CPT and hick picks.
Woohoo, there you go. The three, these are all used in the outpatient setting. So very, very good. And here's what the covers of each of those look like. So what should we write on the front of each of these covers? Anybody remember what I shared that would be helpful to remember?
On
What-
the ICD diagnosis.
Diagnosis, and then for
And
CPT,
CPT is procedural.
yeah, procedure.
So I always tell everybody, put a big P on CPT for procedure, a big P for ICD diagnosis. We always fill out both a procedure and a diagnosis, which tells the patient's healthcare story in numeric and alphanumeric form for us to get reimbursement. Hi, baby. I see little baby guy. Mary's little baby. He is.
Oh, yeah, he's needy.
People are needy too. We need them just as much as they need
He
us.
has no hair on the back of his They're bald.
Aw.
Mine is outside. I want my puppy right now.
Who remembers what the HICPIC codes look like?
I don't know why. I put that with Medicare for some reason.
It is Medicare. It's a
Oh.
Medicare book. But
It's not.
It's
It's
It's-
wheelchairs and
DM
instrument.
Is that the DME
Equipment,
Yes,
equipment?
Yes.
medical equipment.
it is. So you guys in the outpatient setting for real, the only time that I ever used HICPICs, like in a doctor's office, J for injection. Remember HICPIC codes always start with a letter followed by 4 numbers, always. And in the doctor's office, the only time we ever use them are for injections, and they'll start with a J. So I always remember J for injections. Otherwise, the other place that uses them, only HICPIC codes, would be DME, durable medical equipment, for like you guys were sharing, the wheelchairs, hospital beds, oxygen,
Walking
braces.
boots.
Yes, all of that.
We
Right.
do a lot of walking boots and stuff for DM
Yeah,
and
considering your
DME.
podiatry, I would understand why.
So what would we have to bill a HICPIC code with in order to get reimbursed?
Medicare, the insurance.
Can we just bill this code by itself, the HICPIC
No.
code, the wheelchair?
Has
What
to
do
go
we-
with has to go with your diagnosis and your procedure code too.
No, just
Oh, just a
diagnose.
diagnosis code. All right.
Well, if we're talking, you're right, Noah, in one sense, because if you're at the doctor's office and you're getting an injection for one thing, but you're also being seen for another, you could have a separate procedure and a couple different diagnoses. But if we're talking DME, then it would just be your HICPIC code with your diagnosis code, because the HICPIC code tells us what we're doing. The ICD-10 diagnosis explains why we're doing it. So there's always going to be at least 2 codes for all billing to the insurance company. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yep.
Yay. All right, so now I got all this stuff in my way. I wonder if I'm minimizing our pictures, guys. All right, so as you guys shared, awesome job. CPT, we always want to remember, stands for procedure, but it means current procedural terminology. It's considered a level 1. CPTs are always 5 numbers, so there's no letters, guys, in CPT.
Right.
It's always 5 numbers to explain what we did. Another thing I wanted to ask about this, how many chapters in CPT? Do you guys remember?
11.
7? No, not 27.
No.
7?
Is it 11?
It's whoever said 7 is the closest.
Yes.
Mary said 7. Mary Davis said 7.
She's the
6.
closest. There you go. Very good. Now, the reason I always stress this, you guys, is because when you're working in a physician's office, and let's say that procedure code isn't on the super bill, where the physician's going to circle what they want us to bill out, and perhaps we have to look it up, or if you're taking a coding exam through a HEMA or AAPC, you'll want to know what's in these chapters. So I gave you guys the breakdown, how to easily remember. So the first chapter, remember, E&M. Do you guys remember what E&M is?
Be dead honest with you, no.
All right, so the E and M codes.
Evaluation
And manage.
Management.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome
I
job.
had to think of what you said. It kind of didn't trigger right away.
So you guys want to write this down, stick it in your CPT manual, the easy way to remember this. So the first chapter, E&M, it's where we see patients like hospital, doctor's office, nursing home, etc., or consultations. And those codes always start with 99, followed by 3 numbers. So E&M's first starts with 99. What's the second chapter numbers start with?
1.
Oh.
You would think, right? James Bond.
Oh, 007, 00,
Right.
yeah.
So what are the codes that always start with 0 or 00?
anesthesia.
There you go. So the first chapter, 99 for E&M. Second chapter, 0 for anesthesia. What
One.
logically follows 0?
1.
1 through what?
I think it's 3, isn't it?
No.
A little further. It's
1
the
through
biggest chapter. It's the biggest chapter.
69, 6.
Very good. Yes, 1 through 6. So now we got 99 for the first chapter, E&M. Anesthesia, always 0, 00. The largest section in this whole book is surgery.
Right.
Those codes always start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Okay, so there's
Getting that Rocky, keep it in your mind for mama.
3 chapters. What logically follows 6?
7. Radiology.
There you go. So the 4th chapter, all your 70,000 codes or radiology. What logically follows 7?
8.
And what are all our 80,000 codes? Always.
Path lab.
There you go. What follows 8?
9.
There you go.
Medicine.
There's your last chapter.
Medicine.
The
Medicine.
90. So we're talking about 90,000, 91, 92, 93. These are the hodgepodge of things we didn't know what to do with because they weren't necessarily surgical procedures or office visits, etc. So they threw them in the back. They call them the medicine section. They always start with, for example, 90, 91, 92. And there'll be things like Holter monitors, spirometries, psychiatric testing, EKGs is back there. So those are the 6 chapters. Simple, right? If you remember it like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's easy to remember.
I have my book tab.
Very good, very good. So then we always fill out the procedure with the ICD-10 diagnosis. We always remember D for diagnosis, why we did, this is why we did whatever we're doing. It's due to this diagnosis. The diagnosis code is always 3 to 7 alphanumeric characters. So in other words, it can be a valid code with just 3 letter number, or it can be up to 7. Okay. So either way could be valid. The important thing is to verify it after you locate it in the alpha index to ensure it doesn't need additional letters or digits, right?
Some of our most recent ones were 4 digits.
Yeah. And then your HCPCS, like I said, is always a letter followed by 4 numbers. And again, honestly, you guys, I never really used HCPCS in the doctor setting, except for injections. And then you just remember J for injection. Otherwise, I used HCPCS and ICD-10 or 9 back then in DME. DME is super simple. You guys, it's another location you can look into for a job. Not only do you do coding and billing, and it's all very simple because it's all HCPCS, and ICD that the doctor puts on the patient's prescription. So just type DME and your zip code in a search engine and see what facilities come up in your area. That is another place that's overlooked by, students looking to get a foot in the door, learning healthcare.
I've thought to do it because the fact of you can be someone who delivers it and codes for it.
Very
So
good. Every
my
facility is different.
my dad delivered DME. He delivered medical equipment for, I want to say, 5 years around, and he worked for a place called DME Express. It's out of Thibodeau. They eventually made him a regional manager,
Wow.
and he couldn't compete with other people in the position, so they ended up dropping him back down all the way down to a tech.
Wow.
And then they ended up letting him go. So the education part of that is necessary a lot of the time. My dad wasn't educated on computers, and he was trying his damnedest to, keep up, but he couldn't do it.
You know what, Noah? I worked for a DME company that was privately owned, and they literally sent me to Orlando. I don't know how many times for different certifications. They paid for me to become certified, fitting patients with braces, prosthesis, lymphedema sleeves, you name it. So
He
I'm
was
certified.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but he was more so the oxygen tanks and
Yes.
comfortable living until passing.
Yeah, we had that at our place too, a guy that just did the delivery. We had oxygen respirator, what do you call it? Respiratory therapist.
Yeah.
Who would come in and talk to the patients that needed oxygen, and then go out and monitor what they were doing and all of that. Colleen says she has to.
Yeah, she's camera off. She's bathing the kids.
No worries, you guys. You're totally fine. We're just glad you're here. So the medical record, you guys, again, whether we're talking about paper form or electronic, it's where all of the patient's demographics and information is input. And it's also what coders and billers use as the information to bill out to the insurance company for reimbursement. I'll try to wing through some of this stuff a little bit quickly, because I know we spent a lot of time earlier at the top of the hour with Miss April, and I don't want to hold you guys up. It might be getting late for you. So medical necessity, you guys, you'll hear that a lot in the real world of healthcare, but basically what it means in a nutshell is just that our diagnosis supports our CPT procedure so that we can get paid. So for example, you guys, listen up. If you were to bill out, I don't know what that noise is in the background. I apologize.
It's a dog.
Okay. So
Not my dog.
somebody might want to mute. But if we were to bill out, you guys, a procedure for let's say a chest x-ray with the diagnosis of headache, would that be payable?
Say it again.
A chest x-ray procedure with the diagnosis of headache.
No,
No.
Doesn't make sense, right?
not at all.
Exactly. So that's what medical necessity is. It just simply means that our procedure makes sense with our diagnosis so that we get paid. If it doesn't make sense, obviously it's going to be denied, right? I like to put things in as simple terms as I can. So the golden rule, if you guys have never heard it, working in healthcare, Colleen could probably vouch. We hear it all the time. If it wasn't documented, it wasn't done. That means, you guys, I'm telling you, note to self, document everything you do. It covers you, it covers your patient, and it covers your facility. Because trust me when I tell you, and Colleen can probably vouch for this too, if you don't document everything you do, there's always going to be that one person looking for something, maybe, hopefully not, but there generally always seems to be that one person looking to nitpick, right?
It will fall back on you. So we do patient cases, which is what we notate. And patient case as simple as I called a patient to reschedule, left voicemail, because everything will fall back on everything. So always notate every single thing you do. We get tagged all the time. So just as long as you notate, it's fine. Some people don't notate that they called, but then eventually you'll have that one petty person that you have to cover yourself for. And it just so happens that I work with 3 of them. So yes, I cover myself with everything, and one of them is the doctor.
And another thing too, do it immediately, because you are so busy working in healthcare. If you don't write down or document or type it in the system immediately, you might forget. And then guess what? That person that Colleen was talking about is going to figure it out at some point and point it out and make you look bad or get you in trouble, or even worse, fired, right? So also too, if you
Call
can,
a petty Betty.
what's that?
Call a petty Betty.
Thank you. That's saying it nicely. I like that, Mary. I didn't want to be the one to say it, but I'm glad you guys knew what I was talking about. I just try to keep it real because it is, I'm telling you, it's real. But again, too, if you guys get a super bill or something that looks sort of funky to you and you're doing the billing, coding, collections, whatever, set it aside and wait till you can speak with that physician to ensure that it is correct, because you might be right. Maybe it is wrong. You know, maybe the physician overlooked something. But we want to be as concise and accurate as we can be when it comes to billing, coding, and collections, always. So you guys, the SIM chart that you're doing, right, is a type of total practice management software. You know, every practice, again, will generally have an EMR. Some of them I'm still hearing from some students that are going out, not here, but in other places where I work, that, you know, they still have paper. So you might fall into a facility that's still using paper, and maybe they have an EHR system too that's considered hybrid, where they're still using paper and electronic. Nonetheless, the EHR is what everybody should be using today. And as you're finding doing the SIM chart, we can use it to register our patients, schedule appointments, generate insurance claims, patient statements, reports, and so much more, which makes it a lot easier than back in my day when everything was paper. So those of you in school learning to become coding, billing, collection specialist, right? Again, it'll just depend where you land that will determine your role. Some of you might be doing all of it. Some of you might just be doing billing and collections initially, and then work into coding. But revenues affect us all. I always thought of working in those positions, you guys, as if that money were my money, right? I made it into a game where, you know, I was making sure that everything was concise in what I was sending out. And in the case that I did get a denial, I worked it immediately. I didn't let it sit in a pile, because every claim that we collect on, you have to think of that not just like the physician's money. You have to think of it too as your money, because in a sense it is. That could be your next raise. That could be better health benefits the following year. It could be, you know, better vacation and sick time benefits, right? So you just always have to think of your office or facility is kind of like your home away from home. That everything there is yours just as much as your home, you know, your finances at your own house. That's the way I looked at it. So the revenue cycle basically starts when we, you know, schedule an appointment, and then registration occurs, where we get all those release of information and paperwork that we need input into the patient's medical record, including their demographics. Who generally takes the patient demographics, you guys?
Medical assistants, the people, the receptionist.
There you go, the receptionist. So each person in the medical field's job bleeds into the next. So even the receptionist has to be on point, super accurate, because if that receptionist inputs, for example, or transposes a letter or number in a patient's name or their birth date or their insurance information, etc., we're not going to know that there's an error until we get a claim denial, right? So again, everybody that touches the medical record has to be super accurate and concise with everything that we do, because again, that demographics will affect billing and coding down the road in the way of a denied claim if something's not right up front. So this, you guys, is just an example of an insurance card. I, you know, here in Florida and up north in Ohio, never saw Kaiser Permanente insurance cards. I think that's out in California maybe, but it was a card that I could at least show you guys an example so that we could look at this together and you guys could look to see what the patient's copayment would be for a tier 1 urgent care visit. What would the urgent care copayment be?
35.
Very good. What about the office visit for tier 1? What would the copayment be
$75.
for tier 1?
20.
Oh, tier one. Oh, poop. Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
What does
Zero.
what does PCP stand for?
It would be $20.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking.
Yes. See where
Oh, I
it says
see it.
OV copay?
Yeah, I see it.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that those had numbers after them. It was kind of small. I
And I
couldn't see.
will say, just like an insight for the real world, if it always comes up to an unverified when you're entering in a insurance card, if you pull up on the portal, sometimes the numbers on the portal will be different than the insurance card. We've always, Miss P, this is something that I'd like to add. We'd always were told to go off on the portal, not what the insurance card has.
Really?
Because the difference, the numbers are different. And when we call the insurance company, sometimes the insurance company will update the portal and not send the patient a new card. So
Wow.
the numbers on the portal, if it's different than the card, you always go by the numbers on the portal.
Excellent
There's an
information. What was that, Debbie?
I said there's an argument with the patient.
There's an argument with the patient.
Actually,
That-
sometimes sometimes they're cheaper.
Yeah,
Sometimes they're, you have to read it because sometimes it'll show a different on the portal and the patient knows it's different. We had one patient where it was, and she's like, no, this is the number. And we had to call to verify that that was the correct number. So yes, sometimes it causes troubles with the patient, but you can actually do a printout of the portal because it is their insurance and
right.
you can show it to the patient. And then it makes it a whole lot better. You can't show the screen because there could be other, HIPAA
That's
things
right.
on the screen, but you can print it and show it to the patient. They can call the insurance company and verify it.
I love that. And you guys, look here. Can you see this where it says read important information on the back of the card?
Right.
Mhm.
This is why we always take a copy of both the front and the back of the card when we, make a copy of this to put in the medical record, because generally there's going to be, for example, where to bill claims to and customer service phone numbers on the back of the insurance card. So that is very important too, that you guys remember. We always need a copy of the front and the back of the card, because those of us in billing, coding, and collections, we're going to need that information, right? In case we have to call or to know where we're supposed to send these claims to. So you guys, go ahead.
That med impact. That's why it looked familiar. Okay. I just pulled out my I was pulling out my insurance cards because I was thinking about it. I saw the med impact symbol right there, and I'm like, wait, why does that look so darn familiar?
Oh, okay. Is yours
I have
Kaiser?
I have a pharmacy card and a actual card, a insurance card. So it I think on the pharmacy card it says med impact. I think
So
that's
you
what this one
guys-
is.
Noah, how much is the copayment for this tier 1 ER?
Tier one ER is a $200 copay.
There you go. There you go. So urgent care UC is urgent care. That would be the tier 1, $35. ER, we all know, is emergency room, $200 copayment. Previous OV, I'm not sure what that is. Like I said, I've never seen this Kaiser Permanente card before. OV is always office visit copayment, and the PCP is the doctor that patient is chosen. So that is $20. But if you see that SCP next to that, that's for a specialist. If they go see a specialist, it would still be $20 for their copayment there.
So you got me looking at my insurance cards. I don't actually have a
They're all
tier two.
Yeah, they're all different. I've not seen this either, Noah, in the real world with this tier 2, tier 3. I think it might just be Kaiser, unless Colleen's seen. All the cards I've ever seen working in the real world has just been straight.
That's an out network insurance card.
So these would be for out of network.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I
The
kind of
tier-
thought, but I
tier
didn't
one,
want to
tier
say.
2, and tier 3 is all out network.
That's what I thought, but I didn't want to say it'd be wrong.
Yeah, I've got a pharmacy copay on this one. That's all I can see. And that's like a 50 cent to $3 pharmacy copay.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's Aetna. I'm unemployed slash technically living. I'm living as a renter, quote unquote.
Gotcha.
So it works like that for me. So
Aetna, I just want to ask a quick question just to see if anybody knows. Do you know what Aetna would fall under?
is that Medicare?
Aetna
Medicaid.
would fall under Availity.
Oh, I had no idea what you meant when you
So
said.
like
Yeah.
if you're looking, and I'm learning this is why, especially if like Mary, you get the job and you're looking, a lot of companies don't inform you because you're still learning, but that is one that falls under Availity. So if y'all get a job, just keep that in mind.
What does Blue
Gotcha.
Cross fall under?
What does what?
Blue Cross fall under?
Blue Cross falls under Blue Cross Blue Shield. There's also a different portal. It's called iLink Blue Cross Blue Shield, but it's all under the same thing. But they have a lot that fall under Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Yes, because Blue Cross Blue Shield has many different, like state-owned subsidiaries. I want to say in Ohio, it's Medical Mutual of Ohio, but it's Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Right.
Yes.
That's how it
Now,
is.
Mary, did you say you were going to VA?
Say that again?
Did you say you were applying for VA?
Right, the Veterans Administration, yes, here
So
in that.
we get a lot of VA referrals. So your insurance is going to be different because it goes off the state. So the VA falls under the number that's given. And then it's actually under Optum VA Community Plan.
Okay.
All right,
And
guys.
see, right now I have Blue Cross Blue Shield under the state.
That's who I have.
Yeah,
Mhm.
my mom had it under the hospital itself that she was working at, and that's how I was getting my insurance before this. But
So
she
was
went
it
part-time
under-
and it took it away.
What is it under right now for the state, for
As
us?
far for y'all, no, y'all are Blue Cross. That's all I'm saying.
No, I'm asking, what's her name?
Colleen?
What is it? I'm sorry, I was getting my kids dressed.
What is it for the state with Blue Cross Blue Shield? What's the portal? What's it
It's
called?
gonna be under the Blue Cross Blue Shield portal. It, like I said, there's a variety that fall under it. There's Anthem that is also falls under Blue Cross Blue Shield. So if you just type in Blue Cross Blue Shield portal, you'll be able to pull up your own membership. Now, if it's an out of state, you have to click on the community, put in the prefix, and then enter in your number. If not, it's not going to pull it up in the state of Louisiana.
Oh, let me see what mine is.
Colleen's really learned a lot at this new
She
job.
sure have, yeah.
3 weeks and she's learned all that.
Yeah, I have, Colleen, I have Blue Care on my phone. Like I can look at my stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we're not in network with Blue Care, Blue Connect, but I still know about it from when I did insurance. But it depends on, so normally if you look at your insurance card, it'll have the name at the top, and then underneath it, it'll have the actual community plan it is with either EPO, PPO, POS, EP, FEP.
Mine's called Preferred Care.
Yes,
Yeah, that's PPO.
Mhm. So, and I
you'll
think
see a whole lot of different insurance when you start working in the medical field, and I'm still learning. And we're so busy and shorthanded right now that I'm actually teaching myself. But a little insight, when you get into it, you get into those portals and you just start digging. Just start digging into all those portals. If you can't find it, dig into another one. I promise you're going to find it somewhere.
And Colleen, tell me this, if you can't find it and you called and reached out to that insurance company or organization or whoever, aren't they always more than happy to help you?
Yes, they are. I will tell you, United Healthcare, they do not like talking to you. So you have to learn how to be petty Betty and make them talk to you.
And
Wow.
same holds true with Medicaid. Same holds true with Medicaid.
Medicaid,
Wow.
same as well. United Healthcare has a lot under them as well, and their portal is so much easier. And I will tell you, their favorite word to say is, go to your portal. No, ma'am, tell me it over the phone, please, because it's not showing up on the portal. You have to make them tell you if it's not on the portal. They will
That's
always
right.
tell you, look on the portal. No, I'm calling you for a reason.
You have to be professional yet
Yes.
firm. Firm.
Okay.
Remember that, guys and girls. Firm. You have to be professional. You know what you're talking about. Remain firm because they will. I worked for Blue Cross for 10 years. I know how both sides operate. And yeah, if they can get out of paying or get out of telling you something, they're gonna, try to give you the runaround.
Mr. T, do you mind if I get off? My kids are getting ready for
Nope,
bed, and
You're fine. You go. Thank you for
y'all have a
sharing.
great night. If y'all need
Thank
anything,
you.
text or call.
You too.
You
Thank
too.
you for sharing. All right, you guys. So in the real world too, all of the facilities, doctor's office, they all have what's known as a super bill. Some people call it a fee ticket, but it all means the same thing. The charge master is the same thing, but used on the inpatient side. Basically what it is just a big piece of paper that each doctor has with all their own CPT and diagnosis codes. And then every patient gets one. And while the doctor's seeing the patient, the doctor circles on that super bill fee ticket what they want us to bill out in billing. And so this is what is an example of what a super bill or fee ticket looks like. So for example, if this doctor was internal medicine, it looks like they're doing, look at there, there's a 99212. So that's an established patient getting some sort of 80,000 lab work done, right? Because we know our CPT 99 is always an office visit or some sort of visit with lab.
They have that on the thing we work on.
Yeah.
Excuse me, guys. And then down here you see are all the diagnoses. So the doctor's circling what they want us to bill out in the way of CPT and ICD. So we get this, those of us working in billing, we get this. We see the patient's name up here, their diagnosis, maybe their insurance, what they owe, all that kind of thing. So what do? We bring up their name in the billing system and this pops up. It's called the CMS 1500 claim form. It's what we use to bill for all insurances on the outpatient side. It pre-populates with everything for us. So everything that receptionist Noah talked about earlier at the front desk, input for that patient's name, address, birth date, employer, insurance information, all of that pre-populates. We don't type any of that. All we're doing is taking this information here, the data service, and what the doctor circled, right? And we are putting it on that CMS 1500 claim form because the name and all that's up here. We're coming down here, we're typing the ICD-10 diagnosis or diagnoses, depending on how many there might be. Here's the data service. Here's where CPT goes. Here's where a modifier would go if in the case that there would be a modifier. So for example, let's say that the patient's coming in for diabetes, but while they were being seen, they told the doctor, I got an earache, and the doctor does an ear lavage. Well, in that case, we're gonna have two diagnoses, diabetes and impacted cerebrum, or however you say that, for the impacted wax, right? So we got our 99 office visit code here. We got our 60,000 procedure for the ear lavage. We've got a couple different diagnoses. So we want to point to what, for example, the office visit, that 99, we would point to right here, both diagnosis A and B to say they were seen for both diabetes and earwax buildup, right? But this 60,000 procedure code is only for the second diagnosis, the impacted eardrum stuff, right? And then we'd put a 25 modifier on the 99,000 code to tell the insurance company, yeah, they were here for this office visit, but while they were here, we had to do this other thing, right? And again, you guys remember where your modifier information is in the CPT manual?
At the beginning of your book.
It is, it's in the very front cover, but remember I told you to put a note to self there to,
Appendix B.
yeah, Appendix A. You
I mean,
wanna put your little tabby in Appendix A, because there you're gonna find a full paragraph description of each modifier. as opposed to the front cover that just has a little snippet, which isn't going to give you a whole lot of information or really know if you're doing it right if you're brand new. Whereas
Boy, and I answered that like I knew.
you did a great job. So really, you guys,
I was wrong.
oh,
Miss P, Miss P,
Confidence.
yeah,
I wanted to tell you, I'm learning a lot right here because I work for Workman's Comp. And I see these all the time in our exhibits before the hearings. And I was wondering where they was getting that information from. So now I see exactly where it comes
the
from.
doctor. Yeah, see, and this information here that the doctor circles for us in billing is coming from the medical record. So the doctor's already dictated or written, depending on what they do in the medical record, you know, the patient was being seen, you know, in the office, they're established. I'm ordering this glucose lab work due to diagnosis I've confirmed to be abdominal pain, right? So they're getting they've written all that out in regular English in the chart, but then we have to abstract, coders that would then abstract the correct procedure and diagnosis codes from reading the handwritten information or hand typed information. And then that goes on this that we bill out to the insurance company.
That's what I see every day.
Yeah, and so Mary, when you see this or when we do this at the office, we pull up, let's say Mary Davis, right? We're gonna bill out for Mary Davis. So we pull this up, Mary, all of your information pre-populates here. We're not in billing retyping all this at all. All we're doing is typing in data service from here, the procedure and diagnoses, and we're hitting enter. Let's say we forgot to put that modifier on and we get a denied claim. Well, we get a denied claim that it's called a remittance advice. It comes to us that shows, you know, payments and denials. So if we got a denial, we would look for the remittance advice. The remittance advice tells us why this was denied. If we don't understand, simply pick up the phone, call the insurance and ask why. They might say, well, because you need a modifier, right? And so then we just review the modifiers to see which one's missing. We send out a corrected claim. If it's something that simple, or we might have to write an appeal, just depending on what it's being denied for. But it's really that easy.
Wow.
So again, your diagnosis and procedure coding and auditing is performed by those of us that are qualified as medical coders.
Nice.
Yep. And all the information, all the patient information and codes are input into the billing system on that CMS 1500 claim form if we're working in the outpatient setting. If we're working on the inpatient side, we're using the UB04 claim form, which is a much busier claim form, and they use ICD-10 for their diagnoses, but they use ICD-10 PCS for procedures. They don't use CPT on the inpatient side. So again, you guys, if you do, you know, end up working in a position like this and you get a claim rejection, please don't set it aside to get to at some point. You know, your patients are depending on you to take responsibility and get these fixed and paid. I was telling Mary the other day, I've never, ever lost an appeal. Insurance companies are betting on the fact, and they're right, that that person doing billing, coding, and collections isn't going to follow up on denied claims. Patients don't understand, they're just going to pay it. They're not even going to inquire. And if they do inquire, they'll be given the runaround like it's their job to get it fixed. It's not the patient's responsibility, it's ours. That's what we're being paid for. And you and I, as patients, you know, we're paying for our insurance. Should we have to fix somebody else's mistake with our claim? So put your foot in the other person's position. And remember, these are your monies as much as it is the doctor. So all of those claims that are rejected and you're not filing appeals or figuring out why they've denied are stacking up. Your facility is losing money. And guess what? Now your benefits might be cut. You might not be able to take as much vacation. You might not get a Christmas bonus, right? So again, it's important not only to the patients, but to you as well. and you want your facility to look good, right? Your facility could get a bad reputation if you're known for, you know, getting, you
We
know,
have a local
charging
doctor.
patients all the time for things they shouldn't be being charged for.
Yeah, we have a local doctor here who has a billing encoder that's not coding correctly. And
Yeah. If you guys, if you,
several of their patients have been charged a lot of money, up into some of them up into the thousands.
yeah, and if you don't check,
they
if you don't
know.
check, you just pay it. Well, then, you know, you're getting scammed.
Yep.
You got to take responsibility. Look at your EOBs, making sure that you're not being overcharged or they didn't bill out something that you didn't even have done. Right?
Mhm.
Great point. Thanks for bringing that up.
So Miss P, what do they mean about coding to the highest specific?
Yeah, I could never say that word either when I first started. Specificity. Yeah, I don't know where you saw that, but yeah, we always want to code to the highest level of specificity. For example, if we're talking about diabetes, you know, and remember I said we look it up in the index and it might tell us that our code, and I'm just going to be bad and say an ICD-9 code because that's what I know off the top of my head. So back in the day, ICD-9 for diabetes was 250.00, but you could also bill it out 250, you know, without the 00. But you need to check. Remember, we look it up first in the alpha index, that we verify it in the tabular to make sure there aren't additional digits or numbers that we need to append to that highest level of specificity to ensure we're getting paid correctly.
Okay.
If we just go by what's in the front in the alpha index, or not the alpha index, but the index itself, but we don't verify it, we might not be coding correctly. We might not be coding to the highest level of specificity, especially too, also in the case where back there it might tell us, well, yeah, you could code this, but it has to be coded with another code as well. Or you have to code another code first, or this has to be coded second. So it's super important that we're following those guidelines in the CPT and ICD diagnosis manuals.
Okay.
I'm just gonna, okay, so here we are finally, guys, to the coding scenario. So again, CPT is what we did, 5 numbers to share what we did with the ICD-10 diagnosis to explain why we did it. So here is the scenario. Walter Biller is back to see Dr. Walden for his diabetes mellitus type 2 follow-up appointment. He's been taking metformin, 500 milligrams, checking blood sugar at home daily, states he's feeling better, learning to take better control of his sugar. The doctor determines the diagnosis of diabetes mellitus type 2 without complications. She instructs Mr. Biller to continue his current medication and revisit Walden Martin in 3 months. Dr. Walden indicated there's a problem-focused history, problem-focused exam, and straightforward medical decision-making. Add the 10-minute office visit with the appropriate CPT code for the office visit. So we are going to determine what the office visit code is and what the diagnosis code is. You guys ready?
Yes.
Yay, somebody's ready.
No, I'm never ready, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
It's so exciting, you guys. It's like solving a mystery. Who doesn't love solving a mystery? So,
Do we look like the mystery gang?
yes, Scooby-Doo. We're all Scooby-Doo. We're Shaggy and Velma and whatever.
Hey, does my answer count if my cat helps me?
Yes, I want to share
Get off
that
my book.
before you start looking for your CPT code. What one of the 6 chapters are we going to locate that in first and foremost?
And
The first one.
Right. And
You want that number already? I got it.
no, I want to know, is this an established or a new patient?
this is an established patient. Is back to see Dr. Walden.
Remember those, we have students here, you guys, that haven't been through coding with us. How do we tell if a patient is established or new, and why is it important?
Because he's doing a follow-up appointment.
Yep, that's how we can tell that.
It's
he's
important because
established.
the established patient won't get charged differently than a new patient.
That is Absolutely correct. And where do we find out what the difference is between a new and established patient?
In the coding scenario, what?
The
She
guideline.
wrote it down. I remember writing it in my book somewhere.
That's the one. There you go.
Then
Yeah.
Appendix A.
No,
Yeah.
that's your appendix A is your modifiers. We're talking about E&M, where you've seen. So that's where the guidelines are going to be for the E&M codes, is in the E&M section, the very front of it. So in my book, you guys, it's on page 6. In my CPT book, it's on page 6. It says in red, bold type, new and established patient. And I would highlight the difference between the new and established patient. New, remember, hasn't been seen in 3 years by the same type of physician at the same facility, whereas an established patient has been seen within that 3-year period by the same type of physician at the same specialty. So can you guys see this? Because I took our faces and pictures down.
Yeah, I have it highlighted.
I see a nice
Yeah, I
clear
got it.
book.
Okay, so you want to look for page 6, or Mary, what page is it in your book?
6.
6, new and established patient. That is your guideline that you want to note, especially if you take the certification down the road through AAPC or AHIMA. I'm not sure if this is a coding question for NCC. But you do want to know the difference. And why do we want to know the difference? Because there is Noah shared, there are different E&M codes depending on whether the patient is new or established. And if you're a new patient, we're probably going to see you longer than if you're established, right?
Yep.
So the new patient codes, actually, we bill out more with those and we get paid more for them.
Thought so. Okay, so new patients get charged a little more.
Yeah, because you spend more time with them, getting, you
Right.
know, obtaining their history and all their medical background information. Okay, somebody said they had the code. What'd you guys guess?
99212.
What was that? 99212 what?
2.
2. Very good. Yes. And why did you pick 99212?
Because he's established, his problem
Focus.
focused, straightforward.
And what about the minutes? Do we have to worry about the minutes?
No, because that one is 10 to 19 minutes for that code.
Right. But in the visit scenario, it says 10 minutes too. So we could have just looked for the established visit that showed 10 minutes. Again, what should we do in our CPT manual under the 99212? What should be highlighted?
When using time for code selection, 10 to 19 minutes of total time is spent on the date of the encounter.
I would just highlight personally 10 to 19, and under 99213, highlight
20 to
20
29.
yeah, so just highlight the differences with, you know, between the codes themselves. Don't highlight the codes, don't highlight everything, because then nothing stands out. You just want the differences to stand out.
Knock
So
over these
yes,
darn water
very,
bottles one more time.
so very good, you guys. Awesome, awesome job. Any questions on the new and established patient visit, or why we determined 99212 for our E&M?
I just should have read faster and read more because I was reading the bottom part of it and didn't see that that was the code.
You are fine. You're learning, right? We're all learning together.
I ain't got much time left to learn.
I told you, Noah, I'm still here. I'm not dying. I'm not dying. You guys.
So right. No,
What's that, Mary?
I say he's so right about that. We don't have that much time to be trying to still learn.
Yeah, but
I'm on the 12th. Y'all are all on the 24th.
you guys have my phone number.
Look, I'll tell y'all like this. I went to cosmetology school. I learned more after I got out than I did in school.
Right.
Yeah, that
You
makes
do.
sense.
You learn so much more, like Colleen was sharing, on the job. And on the job, it's a lot easier than what
Yes.
school leads you to believe.
And you learn your own ways of doing things.
Right, exactly. Very good.
I feel like that's how it was for the CDL test too, wasn't it, Mary?
I didn't, I'm a bus aide, Noah.
Oh,
I'm
you're
not,
an aide, not a driver. Okay.
no, I don't want to drive. I don't want to have to worry about all that.
My sister's a driver.
Oh, okay.
You guys, what's our diagnosis?
E11?
Yeah, the 11.9.
All right, people, y'all are way faster than I didn't even crack open that book yet.
Let's let him catch up. because
Oh, I'm sorry, diabetes.
We're a little bit off anyway. So let's.
Type 2 diabetes mellitus, no complication.
Without complications.
Do you guys
Listen,
see
ladies,
how I
I'm slow.
highlighted? Do you guys see how I highlighted in this
We'll get
scenario key information?
Yes.
That's what you want to do when you're, working in the real world or taking your coding test. Is you want to just highlight the information that's pertinent to coding. We don't care about all this medical other stuff. All we care about is the procedure and the diagnosis. So don't overcomplicate it by caring about, this is clinical, the 500 milligram, we as coders and billers, we don't have to worry about that. All we got to code is what and why. And so there's 2 portions to your ICD coding manual, right? What are they? Can you guys see that?
Table of drug and chemicals, and then everything else.
No.
Oh,
We can't see your book on.
we can't see
Sheena,
your book. It's
Sheena's-
disappearing.
Sheena's talking, but we don't hear her. Sheena, I think you're on mute. Unmute, girl.
Shame muted.
I didn't hear-
2 sections. What's the 2 sections?
I'm hearing something like whispering.
I just passed up the darn code. Come back
Maybe
here,
somebody has a ghost.
you.
Don't get me started, Mary.
You're gonna scare poor Miss P. She won't sleep again.
Oh, you don't even
Miss-
know. No.
Miss P likes that stuff.
I do. It scares me, but I
Oh,
love it.
no.
I lived in a ghost house.
Of course you did.
I had parapsychiatrists or whatever they are come out, and they didn't get rid of it. The ghost got rid of me. Okay, so the ICD-10 CM manual, you guys, 2 sections that are most important: the alpha index in the front and the tabular in the back. So we always look up our diagnosis alphabetically. So since you guys said it's diabetes, what are we going to flip to in the alpha index?
True.
E.
D, yes, D for diabetes, right? And we scroll down alphabetically till we find diabetes. But here, remember, there's 2 different kinds of diabetes. Well, there's a lot of different kinds of diabetes, but remember, we're looking for type 2, right? Without complication.
E11
11.9.
Actually looking for that Metellus type 2.
Yeah, diabetes.
Mellitus.
mellitus.
Mellitus. Thank you. I can't even talk.
That's the
Guys,
one.
You guys, so when we found
I'm sorry, Miss Mary.
I can't go
Mellitus.
to she ain't saying that kind of stuff, huh?
you guys are awesome. You found E11.9, but how do we know E11 is actually correct? I mean, that's what it says in the alpha index. Do we have to look anywhere else?
Yeah, you gotta go to the back. Go to
Okay,
E11.
yes, we do. My husband was sharing a note with me, so I shook my head no, but I didn't mean no to you guys. What are we talking about now? Oh yeah, going to the back.
Going to E11.
Yeah, alphanumerically in the back, we're flipping to E11.9 to verify that it doesn't say that this is okay, or it doesn't say we have to do anything else. So is it good?
Yes.
Type 2 diabetes mellitus without complication.
Very
E11.9.
good. It
MC
matches,
questionable admission when principal diagnosis.
it matches word for word. So this is perfect. And those of you that, might go on and do coding scenarios on your own, remember, it's generally going to match word for word. If it doesn't, it's probably not right. Where else can we look? If we forgot all about diabetes and we couldn't remember what we were to code for it, in the case that it just said diabetes, it didn't say type 1 or 2, how do we know what to code? Where would we go to find that type of information?
You would look for unspecified.
No,
Okay.
We're gonna go in the guidelines. Remember I talked about the chapter guidelines for
Yeah.
ICD in the front of the manual that I keep trying to hold up, but it's so heavy. Can you-
Right.
Not like we can see it either. You put your poor green screen is like taking it away.
Okay, well, in the very front of this ICD-10 40-pound manual,
Right.
40? That's
at least.
man, I'm one strong man. Hell.
Hey,
Hmm.
shh, we might not get our thumbs.
No, watch your language.
Yes, thank you.
What? How was that swearing? It's in
Well,
the Bible.
remember they deleted us last time, so we
They
gotta
didn't
be
delete me
good.
because of the word. Yeah, never
We
mind.
don't know. We don't know. But you guys, the chapter guidelines in the front, chapter 3. Remember chapter 1 was parasitic and infectious diseases like AIDS, MRSA, sepsis. So if we can't remember something, we can always go to our chapter guidelines and it literally tells us what the deal is. So because diabetes is like endocrine, I think it's chapter 4 in the front of this manual. I'm trying to find it.
It's acute and chronic condition, right?
No, we're looking up diabetes in the guidelines at the very front of our ICD-10 coding manual. So it's chapter 4 in the very front. Remember, it starts with 1, infectious and parasitic disease, then 2 is neoplasms, 3 is something else, and then 4 is endocrine. And the very first guideline is diabetes mellitus.
Yeah, I
I mean,
see.
the reason if you have diabetes and they recommend you to a specialist, it's more than likely an endocrinologist.
So
Right, that's what I see.
so look at number 2. Look at number 2 under there. Type of diabetes mellitus not documented. If the type of diabetes mellitus is not documented in the medical record, the default is E11 type 2. So I would highlight that.
Gotta find it first.
It's on page 18 for me.
Yes, that's the same as us.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah, I was one page off.
So these guidelines, you guys, start on page, I think it's 10, where it says chapter specific coding guidelines, letter C on the second column. Do you guys see that too?
Mhm.
On page 10, second column,
Is it a Roman numeral or a regular number?
it just
The
says
regular number.
the letter,
Oh, this tells me I was in the
It's
wrong
letter
area to
C.
begin with.
says letter C, chapter specific coding guidelines. And the first one under letter C is number 1, chapter 1, infectious and parasitic diseases. So these are the guidelines for everything in this book that falls under infectious and parasitic diseases. Chapter 2, neoplasms, anytime you have a cancer or suspicion of cancer, we don't know how to code it. You go to chapter 2 guidelines and look at that specific guideline, it'll tell you. Same with chapter 4, our diabetes, pregnancy complication. I mean, everything is right here. I love these guidelines, you guys. You don't have to memorize them, but you sort of want to have an idea what's here. So start reading through them, highlighting key information to stand out, especially Noah. And those of you like Noah that really want to be a coder, you're probably going to want to get coding certified, meaning take the certification through AAPC or HEMA eventually down the road. So to prepare yourself for that, you want to start reading these guidelines, highlighting key information. Again, you don't want to highlight everything. You only want to highlight things that are important to stand out to you. So anybody got a question on the guidelines? These are like our Bible as coders, these guidelines, I'm telling you.
I don't have questions.
What's that, Noah?
I said I don't have a question right now.
Okay. But you understand the importance of your guidelines?
100%.
Yeah,
If we didn't have the guidelines, then how would we know what to code whenever somebody forgets to add a little bit of detail?
right, exactly. Very good, you guys. I am super impressed with your CPT and ICD. And again, in the real world, it's so much easier because like I said, the doctors generally are gonna code everything for us on that super bill. And we're just inputting it onto the 1,500 and billing it off to the insurance.
Makes sense as to why my mom had to do it for oh Jesus, why can't in P school? Yeah, that's the one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She may have to code at some point too.
She could probably tell you about those guidelines as well.
No, she couldn't.
But you can teach her then.
I'll have to teach her eventually.
There you go. How about any questions from anybody, concerns?
I'm concerned that I'm not going to see your beautiful face every other day anymore.
Oh. Well, I'm still here. Like I said, I'm not dying. And according to April, I'm still gonna be doing stuff. Yeah, and you got my phone number and email.
100%.
I think she wants me to send in something like a weekly video or something to post. I don't know yet for sure.
We're all going to miss you.
Well, I'm
So
gonna-
after this week, Miss P, we're not gonna see you.
y'all could adopt me and pay for my student loans. How's that?
We gotta
We're gonna
pay for
have
our
April.
own stuff. Look.
Right. See, you know what I'm talking about then. We got to look out for one another and ourselves, right?
Everybody take all your debt. We're all going to pool it together.
Oh,
Once we're, well over 1 million, we're going to all go work for a nonprofit organization.
that would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Just tell Uncle
Gosh.
Sam he needs to pay for it back. We pay enough in taxes.
Crap, y'all are looking at the ceiling. My bad.
You guys are awesome. Hey, you know what? I should get your pictures back up here. I don't know where they went now. I had to move them out of the way so I could see, and now I don't know where they're at. Oh, that's not it, is it? Where are you guys? You're hiding from me. I can't find you.
On the share screen options up at the top, you hid the cameras.
Hit the cameras. All I got
Yep.
is the bottom. Says mute, security, participants, chat, polls, new share.
You don't have your options up at the top anymore?
Nope, they're at the bottom.
Why?
I don't
Okay, press
know.
escape.
Escape.
Press escape.
Okay.
Did your meeting controls pop up at the top again for like your screen share?
No. They're still at the bottom. And they keep hiding from me. Okay, now I can pull them up there. I'm dragging them to the top.
Okay, wherever they may be, if you click on the 3 dots up there,
Yeah.
you probably hid the side view panel.
Okay. Hold on. It says hide names, pause, reactions, disable. I don't see anything about getting our pictures back.
That's weird. You have a view button at the top right corner?
Apps.
Nope. Okay.
So Miss P, you're saying when we take our exam or our certification, and if we get stuck on a certain coding scenario, we can always hop back over here to the guidelines for help. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, definitely. Exactly. Perfect. Yeah, that's why I say you want to get to know them and be familiar with them in the case that happens, so you know right where to go.
Okay.
Again, you don't have to memorize them, but you want to know what's in the, and I'll tell you what, Mary, I literally, and I'm not kidding, 2 years, I kept reading, rereading, highlighting, and every year when we get the new manual, I'd go back and take my notes, handwritten notes from the previous year and put them in the new year and highlight again, any new information, that 2 years I did that before I took my CPC.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because again, I want to make sure I passed it, but there's just so much in there that, I'm like you guys, I get test anxiety, and I just wanted to really make sure I knew.
That's me.
But the good thing, you guys, is that back when I took it, we only had like 4 hours and 20 minutes or something. Every year since I took it, they've like upped the time. Now it's up to like 6 hours or something that you've got to. And if you don't pass it the first time, you get a free retake.
Please don't tell me it takes 6 hours to take this test.
I took the whole time. I remember my boss coming around. He kept saying, "Aren't you done yet? Aren't you done yet?" And I'm like, "I'm taking the entire time. I want to make sure." Then I think I second guessed myself and went back and changed answers. And yeah, so go.
Yeah,
with-
once I completed the first time, I
That
never go
will
back.
be me.
yeah, don't
Nope.
don't see.
Don't-
I'm just like
I
you guys.
don't go back. That is the one mistake I made way too many times. It's what cost me from getting a basic to getting a mastery a bajillion times. Like, or a mastery to an advanced was me second guessing myself, going reread questions,
Yes.
and I messed myself up.
But
Yep.
we're gonna have our books with us, right?
Yes, you could take your books, your CPT, your ICD, and your HICPIC. The only thing they don't allow is leaf loose sticky pad notes or leave loose leaf papers, but anything you've handwritten, like from your that one book that you get with your CPT and ICD, what is it? What's her name? Mary something, I think. What is her name? Buck. Carol Buck, that book?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Your student books.
The Carol Buck coding book. It's like a
It's one of our textbooks.
yes.
Oh,
But hold on, I got it, I think buried down here. The step by step.
oh, yeah,
You see
okay.
this now? Can you guys see
Mm-mm.
that?
So we can take that with us?
No, what I'm saying is you want
I
to
got excited.
you want to take information from this
From
book
it, okay.
Okay.
and write handwritten
was like,
notes in your manuals from this that's
Oh.
helpful to you.
Cause none of this stuff either none of this either?
Nope.
I can't see you guys,
It's a
unfortunately.
notebook.
With all my notes?
Nope,
Nope.
you gotta handwrite it in your manual.
You gotta write them in your ICD books and stuff.
Okay,
But this
All
is
right.
If I'm not
why- this is-
mistaken.
well, I'm gonna get on doing that then.
And this
They
is
have?
why- this is
Sharing
why-
her screen and get her pictures back up.
Yeah, I can't. This is why I keep telling you guys too, that you want to get a foot in the door working in healthcare, even if you're just a receptionist, learning the business, letting them know you want to eventually become a biller, coder, whatever, because then you're seeing and hearing these codes on a daily basis. And that's why I push internal medicine or regular MD, because they see a variety as opposed to just one thing. Because remember, your exam, you're tested on everything, not just, podiatry codes or, cardiology or whatever. You're tested on
Yeah.
everything. Internal medicine and MDs see everything. So you want to become familiar with all of those codes as much as possible for, a good while before you hop in, unless you're, a genius and, just get it right away and can take, I'm not that person. I'm not.
For those of you who are trying to handwrite notes, there are 2 pages that are completely blank. You have like
Yes.
3 spots to write in the very back of the book.
Right, but if your notes are pertaining to a specific area, like if, for example, a surgical area, specific area in the surgery section from your book, your step-by-step book, you want to put that information, that handwritten information back there by those specific codes, in there.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Put it where it's most useful to you, but I was just saying.
yeah, whatever works. for
At
every-
the end of
Miss
every.
P, try unfull screening your lecture.
Okay,
Yeah, so when you're like moving around, press that little X. Yeah.
it's not even letting me out of it. Oh, there we go, finally. Okay, so now.
Is everybody here? No?
That little lady's hair is fabulous.
Yeah, go back to the Zoom meeting controls down there at the bottom.
Are they at the bottom? I think they're at the top now. Now I moved them to the top, remember?
Oh, no, I'm talking about your actual meeting down there.
Okay, this thing?
Yeah.
Meeting,
Oh, okay, that's just gonna minimize that. It's showing the meeting controls.
right?
Oh, boy. Now you got the tech whiz stumped. You done did something
Can you
crazy.
see the thing at the top now where it says everything? Or no, you can't see it. I don't know why.
Put accept their request. Let me see if I can do something.
Okay,
Evidently I can control your screen share now. I don't know how I'm doing
Miss
that.
P, if you stop recording, I'll sing a little lyric of one lyric for them.
What do I have control of?
You will?
Yes,
Oh, Mary.
but
that's
it's
sweet.
not gonna be much.
Oh,
What you
but we'll-
singing?
we'll
What you
want-
gonna sing, Mary?
I sent her a clip of me singing and she thinks I sing good.
She does.
Oh, you know how to sing?
She does.
Wow.
But I'm not singing and it be recorded.
You never know, you might make it big.
That's what I
Yeah.
said. She
In
could be
Florida.
famous. She could be famous. See,
Right.
right there it is. Right there it is where it says talking. Give me back my control. Up there.
I'm
where
gonna
it
give you
says-
back control. Hold on. Let me get rid of it. I don't know how to let it go now.
Right here, I think, right? Is this it? Yeah. There we go.
You got us back.
Yay, look at there. There we all are. Did everybody mostly, hey, Sheena, Noah, Mary, quite contrary, and Debbie. Did we lose everybody else? Now I don't have the chat or anything else.
We don't have Colleen. She
yes.
had to dip out. Remember?
She had to go put her kids to bed.
Right, but
Yes.
there's some other people. Sonia. Sonia was here.
Yeah.
She's still
I'm
here.
gonna have to go put my husband to bed, Miss Colleen.
And Brianna. Brianna was here. All right, you guys. Well, thanks for sticking it out through the end. I hope everybody completes their degree program. Just like I know you guys can. What's that, Deb?
I said, we're too far to quit now.
That's right.
Right.
You are
Right.
darn right.
Guys,
I'll kick my own tail.
you have proven you've got what it takes to do it. Don't stop. Don't throw your money away. Keep, make it worth what you're doing. Okay, Mary, I'm just gonna stop the recording so that we can get Mary to sing for us. Maybe.
Y'all get embarrassed, so
Don't get embarrassed, just do your thing.